When I first started learning about hoopers, I watched a hooper trainer and I was blown away by the fact that she could sit down on the ground and steer her dog round a complete course without running after it, without waving her arms, all with various verbal cues and a few body signals. Now, we can aspire to this, but I think, to be honest, most of us would just be happy with being able to get away with doing our verbal and body signals and knowing how to use them in Hooper appropriate courses. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm trying to learn something or explain something, I use, something that other people might also be familiar with. So, for instance, if I was trying to explain about directions, if you were a driver, you need to signal before you turn at a junction. And that is exactly what you do, say, for example, with your dog. And you would need to signal to your dog to do a junction. So I like sometimes using that sort of thing. And I also look at what I've done in the past or what other activities and sports and competitive status there are. And one of the things that I compare is looking at the obedience competition standards. Now, as you move up the grades, the classes get harder and the commands and cues for the exercises are supposed to get less and less until the dog needs a minimum. And in fact, the judges then start marking the people that might use excessive body language as additional cues. Obviously, in Hoopers, we don't get marked in that respect. But what I aim for in my training and learning of Hoopers is to make sure that my body and verbal signals mean something to my dog and I carry them out clearly and in no fussy manner so that the dog has a clear, comprehensive message. So that way it will work whether my dog is 2 feet away from me, 10 feet away or 20 feet away. I've still got the same language and the dog will respond to it. What I notice is a lot of people get a little bit worried or stressed maybe, and so they start rushing their commands, their cues. They go faster, they speak faster, they move faster. What you're after is to be the calm side of the team and to carry out your cues to your dog, your messages to the dog in a clear and concise manner so that they can then take action and respond to you. I look at some of the inspirational trainers and handlers and I look at them and they're graceful in their movements. It's almost like a dance. And in fact, I think somebody has talked about Hoopers being a dance. So think about your handling. Think about ways that you can be a better Hooper handler for your dog. Look at the Hooper level training exercises. They were all created so that you can very slowly build into the fact that your dog can do that exercise and you can slowly reduce your signals to get them to do that exercise. So the circles, the send-ons, the left and right, you all start them off maybe with a little bit more body movement or an arm signal, turn wide, but then you start learning to see if you can train your dog, just like the obedience people do, to do the same exercise but with less motion. So look at your Hooper level exercises. Look at the Hooper level diagrams on our Hooperlevels page. Think about setting them up and trying them, and then trying them again with letters so that you can practice your own improvements, not just looking at what the dog is going to improve. So that's it.